Hello, mystery writers. I'm Zara Altair. This is Mystery Fix, where we talk about writing great mysteries. And today I want to talk about the magic of story. So, with all the things that are going on in your mystery, don't forget to tell a story, because mystery readers love a good story. So when you're constructing your mystery, hiding clues, planting red herrings, or making a suspect look suspicious, don't forget the story comes first. The strongest stories have well-developed themes, engaging plots, suitable structure, memorable characters, well-chosen settings, and attractive style. And for best results, you build in all those areas. So, have you ever read a mystery where all the elements seemed to be there, but the story fell flat? And you felt dissatisfied at the end and couldn't put your finger on the reason? The writer may be clever at constructing the mystery, but didn't tell a good story. So when you're writing on your notebook or typing on your word processor, it's easy to forget the reader who wants a good story first. And you can keep your storytelling alive as you write by imagining you are telling this story to one person. I tell my stories to my daughter, who likes mysteries and Roman history. So really imagine that person and feel like it's a one-on-one conversation. And I think that will help you with your story tone, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So the story elements. Your story comes alive through multiple avenues, and you want to use all of them to round out your story and keep readers engaged until they arrive at a satisfying conclusion. So let's talk about style and tone. The style and tone are the voice of your story. And this is where imagining telling your story to that one reader really helps. Think of yourself as sitting by the campfire, or in the kitchen, or in the car on a long road trip, any place where the two of you are together with time to tell a story. And match your style and tone to your mystery subgenre. Is it fast-paced action, a police procedural, a cozy? Tell your police procedural in a more clipped and straightforward style than a cozy where it's okay to be relaxed and comfy. Your style and tone set the mood for your story. Readers know from the first page how the story will feel, so keep it consistent with your story from beginning to end. Changing style and tone in your story confuses the reader, and the beginning sets the expectations. If you don't meet those expectations, they may stop reading. And a little bit about plot. The plot centers around the obstacles and conflicts your sleuth encounters as he struggles to find the solution. And these are the reversals, twists, and threats that surprise readers and keep them engaged. So let's talk a little bit about each of those things. A twist is a change that takes the reader in an unexpected direction. So they're reading along and they think they know where their story's going, and then all of a sudden they're off in a new direction. And that's a surprise. And then reversals take the reader in the opposite direction to what the reader expects. So they think they're going one direction, and in fact the story just turns around and takes them in the opposite direction. And then the third is the threat, and it's a moment of heightened danger, either physical or emotional. So you can speed up the pace with more conflict and slow it down with fewer conflicts, and use these obstacles in both your main story and in any subplots. You want to have them in each of your little stories. So the main story and each subplot has those twists, reversals, and threats. Those are the things that keep readers interested and keep them turning the pages, because they keep getting surprises, because they think they figured it out, and then surprise, the story's off in a new direction, or there's a new threat to your sleuth. So be sure to keep those twists, reversals, and threats in your story. So let's talk about story structure. You structure your story with a beginning, middle, and end. It's really that simple. So in the first part, you get your reader involved in the story as quickly as possible. Any backstory or long descriptions, save them for later. Those first few pages, you want your reader to hop into the story and meet the sleuth and get going with the story. So the first page is the best place to bring your reader in. You only get one first page, so introduce your sleuth and the murder and set the sleuth on her discovery path. Do this as quickly as possible. They know they're in a mystery, they know there's a murder, and they know who the sleuth is. So the first half of your middle is all about discovering suspects and clues. And the second half of the middle is all about eliminating the false clues and the suspects one by one. So that second half just kind of narrows in on finding the solution. And in the conclusion, your sleuth pinpoints the killer and confronts them, and then tie up any loose ends as quickly as possible. I've talked about this before. Once your mystery is solved, get to the end. Okay. And then, of course, in your story, your characters carry the story. So know your characters, especially your sleuth. Just know as much about them as possible, because balancing character strengths and weaknesses are key to the ups and downs of the conflicts you create. And give each suspect something they want to hide to heighten the suspicion. And when you have a solid foundational understanding of each character, they respond to each story situation according to their personality, and you're bringing the readers along. You're bringing them along with your characters. And you'll find that the more you know about a character, the easier you'll be able to create these twists, reversals, and threats. So see how these story elements all kind of go together. And let's not forget the setting. You want to ground every scene in a specific place. Don't expect your readers to know. Make your characters interact with the surroundings, even if it is something as simple as getting out of the rain or suffering from the heat. And know your setting as well as you know your characters, because the setting will function as another character in your mystery. Just think about some of the mysteries you've read and how much you know about where they are, whether it's Finn in Northumbria or the streets of LA, you know exactly where you are in that mystery. So be sure to make your setting clear and make it present in every scene. So story elements keep your reader reading. I can't say that enough. The rich details of your story build the sense of place and the feeling that the reader knows the characters. And as a storyteller, your job is to engage the reader and lead them on to the next scene. So do this scene by scene and incorporate all the elements of story so that your story builds on what happened before. And use all the story elements to lead your reader into each scene while leading them to want to know what happens next. Story is the magic that keeps readers turning pages. So thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time.